Have you ever pondered what happens to our bodies after we die? It's an eerie thought, isn't it? The finality of death is a universal truth, yet the rituals and practices that follow our departure from this world can vary greatly from culture to culture. In many societies, the common ways of dealing with the physical remains of the departed are burial or cremation. Burial, the act of interring the body into the ground, is a practice steeped in spiritual beliefs and cultural traditions. It's a way for the living to honor the dead, providing a physical place to mourn and remember. On the other hand, cremation, reducing the body to ashes through the process of burning, is another widely accepted practice. It symbolizes the return of the body to its most basic elements, a poignant reminder of the transient nature of life itself. But what if I told you that there's another rather unusual practice that some cultures follow after a person's demise? A practice that involves treating the body, not for the purpose of preserving it, but for a reason you might not have ever considered. I'm not talking about mummification, the ancient practice of preserving bodies for the afterlife, or plastination, the modern method used for educational purposes. This is something different. Something that might make you question everything you thought you knew about death and the rituals that follow. This practice, shrouded in mystery, is not widely known or talked about. It's not something you'll find in your usual discourse about life and death. Yet, it's a practice that has been going on for quite some time in a place you might not expect. So buckle up as we are about to embark on a journey exploring a practice that is sure to intrigue you, possibly even shock you. A practice that blurs the line between life and death, challenging our perceptions of the ultimate end. Just when you thought you knew all about death rituals, there's a practice that might just raise your eyebrows, if not your hair. Imagine a place where the dead are not just mourned, but also treated. Intrigued yet? Welcome to a realm where the air is heavy with both tranquility and mystery. It's an area that seems to be suspended in a time of its own, untouched by the hectic hustle and bustle of the world outside. This place, shrouded in an aura of solemn respect and quiet dignity, is more than just a location. It's a haven, a sanctuary of sorts, albeit one that carries a peculiar purpose. The surroundings here are serene, almost meditative. The air is punctuated by a profound stillness, broken only by the occasional whispers of people deep in their work. There is a certain rhythm to the quietness here, a harmony that resonates with the solemn tasks carried out within these walls. The people inhabiting this place are as unique as the place itself. They are the keepers of this sacred realm, the guardians of its unspoken code. They carry themselves with a grace and respect that is both heartwarming and awe-inspiring. Each of them, from the ones leading the process to those assisting, is bound by a common thread, a dedication to their unusual mission that transcends the mere act of doing a job. They work with a gentle precision, their movements marked by a reverence that speaks volumes about their commitment. Every gesture, every action is carried out with a level of care and respect that would make the most ardent of perfectionists nod in approval. And yet amidst all this, there is an underlying current of mystery, a question that lurks in the shadows, a riddle wrapped in an enigma. The purpose of this place, the reason behind its existence, remains elusive. Why go to such lengths? Why treat those who have departed from the world of the living? A place filled with peace, respect, and an unusual mission. But the question remains, why treat the departed? Now let's delve into the process, the treatment of bodies after death. Sounds uncanny, doesn't it? Imagine a place where the line between life and death is blurred, where the departed are cared for with the same tenderness and respect as the living. It's not a scene from a fantasy novel or a sci-fi movie, but a reality in some parts of the world. The process begins with the respectful transportation of the deceased to the place of healing. It's not a mere act of transferring the body from one place to another, but a solemn journey that signifies the transition from life to the afterlife. The bodies are then meticulously cleaned. Each step is conducted with the utmost reverence, an act of love and respect, as if the deceased were simply asleep. The process is not rushed but carried out with a meticulous attention to detail, each movement a silent tribute to the life that was. Next comes the treatment. This is not the typical medical treatment we associate with healthcare, but a therapeutic process aimed at preserving the dignity of the deceased. The bodies are treated with natural compounds which help preserve them. The process is reminiscent of ancient mummification techniques, but with a twist of modern science. The reasons behind this unusual practice are manifold. Some view it as a way to honor the deceased, to give them a dignified farewell. Others see it as a means to cope with the loss, a tangible way to say goodbye. Yet there are those who believe in the therapeutic effects of the process, a way to heal the living by caring for the departed. This unusual practice, the treatment of bodies after death, is indeed a mystery, a puzzle that challenges our conventional understanding of life and death. It's a question that invites us to ponder on the nature of existence, the meaning of death, and our own mortality. A practice that might seem eerie to some, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Behind every unusual practice, there's a story, an emotion. Are you ready to unravel it? There's an old saying that goes, "Grief shared is grief halved." In the case of this unique practice, it's not just about the physical treatment of the deceased, but the emotional healing that comes with it. Let's delve into this emotional aspect. Picture a community, a family, a friend mourning the loss of a loved one. The pain is raw, the heartache palpable. They're in a state of shock, grappling with the harsh reality that they will never see their loved one again. The world as they know it has been shattered. Now, imagine a place where the deceased are not just discarded, but cared for one last time with a sense of dignity and respect. This practice isn't just about the treatment of the deceased, but about providing a comforting environment for those left behind. It is a place where the bereaved can find solace and closure. This unusual practice fosters a sense of community. It brings people together in their time of need, creating a bond that is both healing and comforting. It's a shared experience, a mutual understanding of the pain of loss. In the midst of their grief, the bereaved find a sense of purpose, a way to honor their loved one. They're involved in the process, contributing to the last act of love and care for the departed. It's a way for them to say their final goodbyes, to express their love one last time. The emotional aspect of this practice is profound. It's not just about the physical treatment of the deceased, but about the emotional well-being of the bereaved. It's a practice that acknowledges the pain of loss and provides a space for healing. This unique practice also serves as a reminder of the preciousness of life. It's a tangible demonstration of the fleeting nature of our existence, prompting us to cherish our loved ones while we still can. An unusual practice, yes, but one that brings solace in the most unexpected way. So what can we take away from this unusual practice of treating bodies after death? To begin with, this practice challenges our conventional ideas about death. We are conditioned to perceive death as the absolute end, the final curtain call. But here we are, discussing a process that treats the body even after life has departed. It urges us to reevaluate our understanding of death, to view it not just as an end, but potentially as a transition, a passage to another realm. Next, this practice provokes us to reconsider our approach to mourning. In many cultures, mourning is a process steeped in sorrow and despair. However, this practice presents an alternative perspective. It suggests the idea of healing, not just for the living, but also for the departed. It's a practice that, instead of focusing solely on loss, gives equal importance to respect and remembrance. The story also brings to light the importance of respect for the deceased. It's easy to forget, in the face of grief and loss, that the body was once a vessel for a human being, deserving of dignity and reverence. This practice reminds us of that. It's a poignant testament to the value of a life lived, no matter how it ended. Moreover, this practice is a testament to the power of human compassion and empathy. It's a practice born out of respect for human life and dignity, a practice that, despite its unusual nature, is deeply rooted in humanism. Finally, it serves as a gentle reminder of our own mortality. It invites us to contemplate life, death, and the delicate thread that binds the two. It's a practice that, in its own unique way, encourages us to live fully and cherish each moment, knowing that death, while inevitable, is not necessarily the end. An unusual practice indeed, but one that teaches us about respect, healing, and a different perspective on death. Perhaps death isn't the end, but a new beginning.